So anyway, this is the first game of the series in which Rick Norton and Douglas Build, or as they're called, Jack Flack and Uzi Nelson here in the localized version, try to shut down Joe Kyle's Jicus drug trafficking, and they also need to rescue Norton's sister, Heather. So anyway, we're not going to be using angry mode, so we're going to be going right into starting right now. Anyway, we'll be using Nelson for the run, namely because he has a lot more tools than Flack does, and is actually more better than he is, but I think some people could probably disagree on that if they wish, and rightfully so. Anyway, we're going to be starting timer the moment I select my character. We're going to go live in 3, 2, 1, go. Now, I do have to be careful when transitioning from the stage screen to live action because it is possible to soft lock the game, leaving it an infinite pause. So Nelson is pretty much the best of the two, mainly because he's got a lot more tools like that. Normally it would be a low blow in the Japanese version, but it's been censored, of course, in the localized, and thanks to that censorship, it actually stuns enemies rather than having them hop up and down as a result. So we take full advantage of that and setting up all these quick finishes here. Also, we have a run button pretty much with both characters, so they can literally run without having any issues, unlike Brawl Brothers, where you have to do double tapping. Now, we do want to try to avoid power bombing enemies in this game because enemies do receive 1 to 2 seconds of invulnerability frames, so we do not want that happening. Also, enemies in this game are pretty cheap, I might add. So this game can be very throw-heavy if you're not used to it, I might add. Not to mention they all pull out these shenanigans too. So normally I don't do this terribly bad on this part, but it's just the breaks. Alright, we do need to use our special wisely because once we get to stage 4 and 5, we're going to be accessing warp zones. And those would require you to have a specific amount of score. Yeah, what is with you, Chase? Normally he comes right after me. Yeah, sometimes the enemies can be very cowardly, like they don't want to face you at all. And there's sometimes where your attacks will not hit at all, even if you're lined up and everything. Alright, not bad. By the way, I did get a new world record of 29:45 the other day when I was doing practice on this game. So that was a very huge improvement overall. Got it below sub 30 for the most part. Now, sometimes you can pick up enemies when they're on the ground, not all the time. We do have to watch out for the martial artists. These guys are pretty much a pain in the neck. They do love to grab you, as well as decide to do their jump kicks. You can also use that method to bait out the enemies. So anyway, we got Genie coming up. Okay. That's a first for me. Alright, that was pretty poor. Normally I would have him trapped. Technically, you wanted him to pick up the saber of his most of the time. For some weird reason, he did not do that and started punching me. He usually does that if you're too close to him, or basically decides to come after you instead. Ouch. Yeah, martial artists are pretty dangerous enemies, but just about every enemy in this game can be outright dangerous if you're not careful. Come on, what are you gonna do? Sometimes it's best never to get too aggressive. You can easily get punished for being aggressive if you're not careful. I've had that happen to me too many times on these runs. Come on, Goro, what are you gonna do? We're already off to a bad start, but we can probably recover. Alright, not bad at all. So we're now in the locker room. Yeah, the skinnies are only dangerous when they attack you by with two of their first kicks, but their third and fourth one don't really do a whole lot of damage. Yeah, normally in most beat-em-ups you do want to try to group enemies together. Rival Turf does not really follow that kind of rule set, unfortunately. They usually prefer having you fight most of the enemies one-on-one, as opposed to hitting both enemies at the same time. It just, for some odd reason, it just does not let you. Ooh, got all three, nice. You can also cancel your chains, which is pretty nice to have. Now, we do have to watch out with the Arnolds, because these guys do love to grab you and throw you for a quick damage, obviously. Yeah, one thing to keep in mind that when you do the Frankensteiner with Nelson is that most enemies get put in the upper plane rather than the plane they were on. Ooh, that was close. Yeah, we do not want to take a game over until we get through 5-2 and trigger the warp. So we're going to try to not take so many deaths if we can. Basically, your continues are basically your lives, pretty much. You get 5 for each round that you continue. So in basically total order, you basically get about at least 30 lives to work with. Or 25, I think. Now, sometimes you can pick up enemies after a powerbomb, but that does not always work. Okay, back away, Kato. I'm not gonna approach you. You approach me. Alright. But like I said, the martial artists are probably the most dangerous out of the bunch of enemies, aside from the Skinny and Reggie, of course. But anyway, we're getting close to the end of stage 2. And we're going to be coming up with probably one of the more easiest bosses in the entire game. Sledge. He's actually pretty easy. You'll see why when we get to him in a minute. Also, the running attack also gives us the ability to pick up enemies off the ground. So Sledge didn't come out immediately, so we're going to wait for him to do his attack, run into the car, get himself beaten. Then we do this. Alright, that was perfect. He didn't break out once. Alright, so we got through stage 2, so we're going into stage 3. This is the last of the North American stages. We'll be going into South America, starting with stage 4. This is pretty much where all the remaining enemies that have not been featured yet will start making their appearance. So we need to use this to take out that Skinny from behind there. Come on, Skinny. In regards to the history of these runs, I know Esta used to do speedruns on this game. Haven't really seen any of his past runs though, except for a few. But I started taking up speedrunning after Final Fight 2, and started picking up from there. Obviously, I found a large amount of the strats, but I do know Josh the Funk Doc, who held the world record for this previously. He found some more interesting strats to use against Iceman, and found some more quicker ways than I would never have considered. It's actually thanks to him that we know a lot more than we do know. Ooh, he grabbed me. So this is basically what happens when an Oral grabs you. So yeah, you need to make sure that when you throw items with Nelson, you're usually a few planes above the enemies, or otherwise they won't hit. Alright, so we're coming up to the final group of enemies before we go to the rooftops. Should take out both of those guys. Back off, Gigane. Shoutouts to G-String Double X. That trick can be used and be seen mostly in tasks. I don't really use it a whole lot because the timing requires very strict. So anyway, we're moving up to the rooftop. We get to move around, but we don't do much here. So at this point, we do need to start using our specials so that we have about at least a score of 30 by the time we get into 4-2. Darn it. Did all that damage to me. Alright, time to fight Slasher. Oh, I forgot about the martial artist. There we go. Now we're going to do this. He's at the point of doing kicks now. We just basically got him to skip one phase of jumping that would have been a time waster. Alright, not bad. Not bad slasher fight. Alright, so our score is still a little bit under, but the good news is we're now in range of triggering the warp in a while. So anyway, we're going into stage 4. This is where our first mission in the South America areas begins. And believe it or not, this stage is very unique. It's like the only place in the entire game most of the enemies wear different colors than what they normally would wear. But however, some of the enemies do get to keep some of their color changes. Like the bullets, skinnies, and some of the others. Not bad. Now we just gotta fight these enemies. Alright, we need to beat one more enemy, then trigger the special to get our score down to 30. So that's easily done coming up. And there we go, we got our warp zone. That one triggers when you get a score of 30. In addition to that, our health is reloaded. Now, sometimes when I hold the run button and B, the jump button, when the screen goes black, sometimes we can jump a little bit further ahead. I don't know how it works. Oh, we got it. Nice. Now, we got to make sure we don't use our special up until 5-2. So we're going to be pretty much absent on using that for now. So we're going to be using our chain attacks and throws, pretty much. Now, to honestly ask, I do not know how that works, but every now and then it does. Ouch. Got hit with the dynamite. Ooh, now we can't hit that Kato. And unfortunately, I'm hitting the wrong attacks. Alright, coming up is probably one of the more harder bosses, the Captain. He usually goes for this most of the time. And unfortunately, I just made him invincible because of that. Okay, stop doing that, Nelson. You're not supposed to be doing that. Ooh, he almost got me for, Okay, now I can't do the special now. Because I accidentally triggered that when he did that, unfortunately. Yeah, this is basically how you're supposed to be doing this most of the time. Yeah, you do not want to be taking out bullets, unfortunately, because when that happens, he'll whistle for his minions. But because I triggered the special a little bit too early, I can't use that for 5-2 now. So I gotta make sure I avoid using that from here on out. Also, you do get a temporarily invincibility when you do run attacks, so you can use that to avoid getting hit if you're lucky. But it's always important not to get too over-reliant on that because you can get countered pretty hard. Like I said before, it's very hard to get enemies grouped together. It is possible, but it is very rare. It's not like I'm deliberately doing this on purpose. It's just, I've tried that before and it just does not work in this game. Why is that Kato still up? There we go. Alright, that should take him out. Alright, so we're moving on ahead. Yeah, this is another reason why you want to fear the martial arts most of the time. These guys love to grab you, especially in the later parts of the game where they just get very grab heavy. Yeah, you have to attack pretty fast in order to get your attacks in so that the enemies don't break out of them. Alright, there we go. Got him to waste that attack. Yeah, if enemies do that, come near you, you want to bait them most of the time. Luckily, most of these guys aren't very strong. Alright, we're getting close. Alright, there we go. We got our second warp zone. You gotta hold up when you're jumping near the stairs. Alright, so there's no trick to advance forward here, unfortunately. Yep, nothing. Yeah, unfortunately, this warp zone's like almost right near the end of the section there, actually. But it's a pretty good way to refill your health, since warp zones help you get your health back, pretty much. But unfortunately, this is also the last warp zone. But now that we've used all of them, we can use our specials whenever we so wish. Ooh, nice. Yeah, see right there? They got out of that attempt, obviously. There goes the case. So we're going to be way over here. Take him out. Yeah, for some reason, Louis is like the only enemy, normal enemy in this game that gets an orange health bar. That's usually reserved for most bosses. He's the only one that does that. I think the only ones that get a more higher health bar are probably the warriors. When we fight Slasher later on, but Louis are the only ones that get like orange energy bars. Ah, I got flattened. That elbow drop is enough to wipe out almost 80% of the health there. But that's fine. Ah, got kicked. That's fine. Alright, coming up, we're going up against Iceman. Alright, we need a... So if he runs towards you, you can attack him. But if he goes for this, you want to do this. So basically, what you want to be doing is basically hitting him when he runs towards you. Go for vertical axis and grab him after 3 hits and just repeat until he is gone. Yeah, his vitality is not very huge. But technically, the rematch we get later on in the next stage, though, he becomes a lot more problematic. So anyway, we're coming up to the final stage of the game. We have to rematch with all of the bosses from stages 1 and 3 and 5. So we'll be coming up against Genie first, then Slasher. Slasher's is very unique because all of his minions do not go away when he is defeated, so you do need to defeat all of them before you're allowed to advance. Alright, so we're looking pretty good right now. Yikes, that was not what I meant to do. Just trying to hit both of those guys together with a special. The special is capable of hitting anyone near your range pretty much when it goes off. So yeah, stun locking is very huge with Nelson 80% category. Alright, not bad. Managed to shut down Genie before he can get his offense going. Now there is a hidden health in this group right here. We're going to do a special right here. It's going to knock out, do a huge amount of damage to these skinnies. We do have to deal with that dingo as well. This is the last time we have to see these guys. Now we picked up our hidden chicken that revitalizes our health. And now we're gonna come over here. So we got 2 warriors and a bullet to deal with. You do have to watch out with the warriors. They do have 2 forms of spin kicks they love to pull off most of the time, and the one that travels further deals less damage, but close range spin kicks do way high damage. And technically you do not want them going after you with that move, obviously. Man, I got lucky there. Alright, that takes care of him. We also want to use the Hurricanrana most of the time because that's a more reliable move than the Power Bomb is. Power Bombs can be somewhat effective if you got enemies coming right near you, but most of the time you want to use the Hurricanranas because they're a lot more safer. Time for the rematch with Slasher. Well, I was gonna die anyway. Yeah, I hate when he does that, though. Bring it on, Slasher. Your minions are gone. Yeah, I'm going to save up my special for later, when we fight Big Al, so I'm going to probably pull that off as an emergency, just in case. Anyway, we're going into the final area before Big Al, so we gotta... I thought for a second he was going to go for the big elbow. Like I said before, I don't play aggressively with the martial artists. Anyway, this is Iceman number 2. Use the same strats. The big difference between him and number 1 is that he has the ability to phase out, like he does right here. Technically, we want to keep him positioned at the right at all times because we want to have him pretty much at the right when we finish this fight. Right now he's just grabbing me, which is not what I'm supposed to see happen here. Right now he's giving me some... Oh, he's comboed some knees! Darn him! And I ran right into that. That was my fault there. Well played, Iceman. Well played. Yeah, we want him to be at the right because when that happens, he'll walk to the right before he's defeated, and we can then advance. That saves us quite a bit of time. And that's very important that happens because if you can get him at the near edge at the right, because when that happens, you're allowed to advance. Ooh, Power bombs galore. I'm getting plagued with all these misinputs. Yeah, we're not playing any more of your games, Reggie. All right, coming up is Big Al. All he does is throws, energy attacks plus Falcon dive punches, pretty much. So he has the ability to perform angry mode like our characters do. So if he goes into that, we want to make sure he wastes most of his time with that. Gotta be very quick with your inputs because he will grab you out of your chain attacks and pretty much beat you up. Pretty senselessly, I might add. At least the annoying cheerleader is gone now in the form of Butch. Bring it, Big Al. Yeah, that's also another reason why we don't use the specials after stage 5, pretty much, because we want to make sure we have plenty to use against Big Al. Time's going to be when stage 6 appears. Cleared? Yes. 30:47. Not my personal best, but I'll gladly take it. Alright, we did it. Despite some mishaps, we got a pretty darn good run. Whew! Sorry about the mishap from Brawl Brothers earlier. I really wish this run for Rival Tour was a little bit better, but you gotta take what you get, you know. Anyway, shoutouts to SpeedGaming as well as Fiesel for allowing me to have some chance to showcase some of the Russian beat games. Hopefully one day we will have someone debut Peacekeepers as well. But anyway, you'll see me again on Sunday because I'll be doing Joe and Mac as well as Return of Double Dragon. So you'll be seeing another round of Super Double Dragon under the Japanese version. Hopefully I'll take notes from Critical Gaming and apply that to my run as well. But anyway, I'm going to hand it on over to Speed Gaming and enjoy the rest of the runs, and I will catch you all the Sunday after this Sunday. So this is Rotorstorm331 signing off. And once I get the approval to close down, I'll be doing that. You all have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.